Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek A Day. Today we're wishing a happy Trek birthday to Avery Brooks, born October 2nd, 1948, known to Star Trek fans as Benjamin Sisko. If you've not checked out my top 100 episodes of Star Trek, I urge you to check that out. It's a great series, and I think that, particularly the top 10 episodes chapter, will give you a more detailed explanation of why this particular Trek birthday is very meaningful to me. Avery is a fantastic actor who's had some great roles outside of Star Trek, but before the topic of this channel, Benjamin Sisko, either Commander Benjamin Lafayette Sisko, moving on to Captain Benjamin Sisko, was such a remarkable character who broke so much new ground, not just in Star Trek, but in television of the 90s through that portrayal of the character, the issues that character tackled, and in particular the way Avery portrayed that character, the power and style of his acting, the life that he would breathe into that character is what truly made him special and was such an important and influential character on screen. Still, I think the best example of a parental figure that Star Trek has ever had. An exceptional captain who you truly felt was this living, breathing individual. He felt flawed and complex, and he got such a strong sense of his personality, even from the opening moments of Emissary, and seeing the build of that character throughout time, how he would change with his role as Emissary and through the events of Deep Space Nine. There's so much that could be talked about in regards to the growth of that character over time and why he is my favorite captain by far. And the most important relationship for me with him, though, would be the more personal relationships, how he related to different people, how his relationship with Kira was fantastic, especially with the complex nature of both being her commanding officer and her friend, and also being this religious figure within her religion, and how that played out, his stance with Starfleet, how that changed over time, and his relation to the Bajoran people and their religion, particularly on the level of individuals throughout that complex part of his existence. And all the vast cast of Deep Space Nine, his relationship with Cassidy growing over time, and of course the primary one, most important one with him would be him and his son Jake. Also loved, I'm a big fan of Dax. Both Daxes are also among my favorite characters in all of Star Trek, so that relationship was always very fascinating to me. I love the way that worked out. But being a kid, growing up at the time, Star Trek in general was very much an important element of escapism for me. A lot of my favorite childhood memories more involve these fictional characters in the worlds of Star Trek than anything else, and this was the most important one to me by far, because that relationship between Ben and Jake and the betrayal that Avery put on, and the talent that he possessed and the way he embodied that role, he was almost a surrogate father figure on screen to me, and very, very meaningful, and has had such an influence on my growth as an individual into a man, into an adult over time. That character was incredibly important in the foundation of who I grew up to be. So definitely this is one of the most important birthdays out there to celebrate, of an individual, of an actor, of a person in real life and the fictional character they portrayed. So this is definitely a special one to me. So very happy birthday to Avery.